Welcome into today's Michelleology and Evolution of Meditation. This is the perfect day to expand your consciousness, to walk into the glory of God, to the opportunities to possess the land, the opportunities to create whatever it is that you desire or will to create in your life. This morning we're going to talk about consciousness. I don't know if many of you have ever experienced or heard of being conscious. Being conscious is having a spiritual and an emotional state of being alert, being awake, being aware, finding an opportunity to go forward and hear and see things that are really not visible all the time to the negative eye, but are visible to the spiritual eye. And so as we begin to meditate, and the reason that we meditate is because we want to be aware, we want to be conscious, we want to be able to move and have our being express the highest expression of who we are and who God created us to be. We want to be purpose-minded. We want to be destiny people. And we have come to a point in life where nothing is as usual. And when we define and we become aware and become conscious that this is the changing, this is the evolving. When I talk about involution, this is going in. When you go, I always say when you go within, you'll never be without. So this is an opportunity to be conscious of what God is saying, what God is doing, His every move. Yesterday we talked about moving with God. You know, when He moves to the left, we got to be there. When He moves to the right, we got to be there. But the only way that you can do that is you have to be conscious of what He's doing. So meditation brings us in to the focus, makes us intentional about who God is, makes us aware and become one with God. That's why I always say namaste. Because when I say namaste, that means I'm acknowledging, I'm conscious of the God that's in you. If you become conscious of the God that's in you, when you begin to focus on who you are, what your purpose is, where you're going, how you're going to get there, then you lose sight of judging people, you lose sight of judging yourself, you lose sight because you're focused on God, you're focused on what you're doing. It doesn't matter what the person in a sense is doing next to you, because they have their road, they have their purpose, they have their destiny, they have their orders. But we have to be conscious of what our life is, what our focus is. We have wasted so much time wearing another man's armor. That's why I say create and stop duplicating. Because when we duplicate, there are some things, yes, we don't want to reinvent the wheel for. But when it comes to the road to your life, when it comes to you being where you're supposed to be, you have to create the way. You cannot allow someone else to tell you who you are. You cannot allow someone else to be your mentor. You've got to create a space. You got to create your own armor. You got to go forward in what you have been called to do. If everybody focused on their own mission, stay in their own lane, stop competing. There is no competition. You are an original. You cannot be duplicated. If somebody duplicates you, it's a cheap copy. And if you duplicate somebody else, it's a cheap copy. A copy is never exactly like the original. So when you're conscious of your originality, of your authenticity, of everything that you are purposed to do in life. So we want to wake up. Some of us die because we're asleep. And when I say die, I'm not talking about a physical die. I mean, we get depressed, we get anxiety, we choose to go the wrong way. We don't hear God. He's saying go right, we go left. And then you become unconscious to what is happening. Most of the people today are unconscious about this virus, about this shut-in, about everything that God has set in front of us to move forward. We're so anxious to open everything back up because we want to get to what we say is quote unquote normal. It was never normal in the first place. You just thought it was. And as a man thinketh in his heart, so he becomes. So now this is the opportunity for you to become conscious and for you to know who the true you, I always say for you to know who you be. It's not good English, but it makes a point. Who you be. You know, who you be. Not trying. Trying always sets you up for failure. When you say, oh, I'm going to try to be there, you know good and well, you're not going to be there. It sets you up not to. It makes an excuse. Just in case I don't, at least I tried. No, we're erasing all that. We're being intentional. We're not trying to do anything. We are doing it. We're not trying to be anyone. We are being ourselves. You never have to try to be you. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are. I always say if you find yourself nowhere, pull the word apart and it says, now here. Locating yourself is being conscious. Defining yourself is being conscious. Knowing who you are is being conscious. I will never answer to the name Lisa because I'm conscious that I'm Michelle. And when you're conscious of who you are, you know, find out what your name means. My name means one who is like the Lord. And it has a question mark behind it. Because everybody whose name Michelle is not like the Lord. Not because they have not been called to be, but because they have not made a choice. Many are called, but few are chosen. Doesn't mean that God picks you out. It means you have to choose to be called. You know, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm called to preach. What does that mean? Did you hear somebody else say that? Have you defined that? Have you examined that? Have you decided, well, let me see what that means to me and not to other people? Many people told me I was a preacher before I accepted the call or a minister. But while they were telling me, I couldn't conceive it because I wasn't conscious of that. It's good for people to suggest things for you, but until I examine who I was, until I examined who I be, until I became conscious of what was inside of me. See, sometimes people can see what's inside of you before you recognize what's inside of you. But just because they see it doesn't mean you're going to be it. You have to come to the consciousness of it. So, this morning, we want to meditate on being conscious. And in order to be conscious, you have to love yourself. You have to remove all the blockage. You have to remove all the hate. You have to remove all the unforgiveness. Oh, it's a removal. So this morning we're going to just begin to go into this space. Remember, all this is your creative space. All of this. You have, when it says your gift will make room for you, it's already room. You have all of this to use. All of this to create. All of this to be conscious of. All of this that's in you. You have every opportunity. If God has allowed you to see that light coming through that window, you are conscious of another opportunity to be all you can be in God, to be all you can be in you. This is the perfect time when everything is slowed down. I know they want to get back to the rapidness, the going and the coming, the rushing, the traffic, the pressure, the stress. That's what everybody's in a rush to get back to. Now, you can't tell me, outside of you being concerned about a job, something to eat, that you are stressed. I get up every day and I'm I'm happy to be at home. I'm happy to be able to move and have my being. So this morning, we want to begin to move some blockage. We want to begin, just like moving furniture. We're going to go in and we're just going to rearrange furniture. We're going to rewrite our story. Yeah, that was his story. Now we're rewriting our story. That was what he or she said. Now it's going to be what God says, who do they say that I am? And then the disciples begin to say, well, they say this and they say that. And then God said, well, who do you say that I am? So my question to you today is, who do you say that you are? That's something to make you say, yeah, something to think about. You need to start questioning yourself. You need to start asking yourself questions. And don't just ask yourself questions and not be there to say the answer. You are the answer to every one of your problems. Man, that's good right there. You are the solution to all your problems. You will never find your solution outside of you. And you need to be conscious of that. This shirt says conscious. Be conscious. Be awake. Be awake. Wake up, people. You know, when you were a kid and your mom would wake you up for school, she said, wake up. Some of y'all, she had to tap because you couldn't hear. That's what God is doing us. He's tapping us. Wake up. Wake up. I'm here. I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. I'm here. And we still sleeping, snoring, and slobbering. Okay. Well, let's get ready for the meditation. Come on. Get into your stance. Get into your place, whether you're laying down, whether you're sitting down, whether you're in the stance as I am with your legs crossed. If you can't cross your legs, if it's uncomfortable, lay down. Can't do that, sit in a chair. But come on, let's focus for a few minutes. We're going to go in and we're going to rearrange our mental furniture. Okay? So begin to breathe from the bottom of your base, which is your root chakra. We always talk about the chakras because those are the energy points that are inside of you that run up your spine and then they run down the front of you. So as long as those chakras are open and functioning and working together, you'll feel good. You know, I've incorporated a 20-day cleansing without meat. So the meat, all of the meat in the stores is very limited. And it may get to a point where we all have to become vegan. Going back to the seed, going back to the garden, you know, going back to the place where we can cleanse our body. Because sometimes the meat stops you up. And so now I'm doing that for 20 days. I'm doing the raw. Not cooking anything, just vegetables and fruits, juicing and smoothieing. And only water. A few juices, but only water. So the only juice that I'm doing is the juice that I'm juicing. I'm not buying any juice. No sugar, no bread. Wow, can we survive like that? I love some potatoes. But anyway, we're getting off. But come back. We're going to go in and we're going to become conscious of that. Come on, close your eyes. Closing your eyes. The reason we close our eyes is we want to shut out the outside. Because when you begin to meditate, you're forgetting about everything that's outside of you and you're coming in on the inside. And so we put our fingers together because this allows us to connect with our heart. You know, these two fingers allows us to connect, and we place them there on the top of our knees and we begin to breathe. Breathe in. Hold it. Release. Now we're getting to a mode where we're clearing and we're relaxing when we breathe. When you deep breathe, you clear. Remember this, you clear and relax. Breathe in. You straighten your spine up because you want those energy chakras to be lined up and to be open. You don't want to compress them by slumping over, but you want to straighten your back because you want to open them. One more breath. Always be aware of what your body is saying. Locate the spots where you feel tingling sensations or numbness, or you just feel relaxed. Honor the presence of God. In His presence there is perfect peace. The tones you hear in the background are 963 frequencies. They're love vibrations. Imagine how you feel when you feel loved, when you feel respected, appreciated, when you feel the joy of being in the presence of love. Some of us have never experienced that. Meditation will bring you back to that. We were created by love. We live by love. Okay? So as we enter into this place, remember we're moving blockages. What is blocking you from being conscious of you? Maybe if you go back, there's something in your childhood. Let's go back to some things we need to deal with. Some things we've swept under the rug, but we want to focus on clearing that. You have to define what it is you need to clear. One thing I'm focusing on today is I need to clear from a childhood of not having a relationship with my dad, my real dad, my blood dad. And that came to me one day when I was talking with God. I never had a relationship. I never experienced the love of my dad. So I don't know what that feels like. And so now I need to focus on that. What do you need to focus on? Did someone hurt you? Did someone cheat on you? Did someone just treat you unfairly? Were you looked over? Were you talked down to? Were you criticized? Did somebody make fun of you? Let's clear all that blockage. Let's move it. It happened then, but it's not happening now. As you begin to love yourself, you begin to not allow people to enter your consciousness with their negativity. So we're moving negative things, things that cause us to feel bad about ourselves, things that slowed us down and caused us not to move forward. When you're in the meditation, those things will come to you. And we're just going to move them aside like we're moving a sofa. It's not useful to us. It's not causing us to go forward. If you're not going to use it for a building block, remove it as a stumbling block. Allow God to heal you. He cannot heal what you won't reveal, what you won't bring forth. It's okay to be healthy. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be healed. Healed, happy. What does that feel like for you? Have you ever just focused on what does it feel like to be healed, healthy, and happy? Let's be conscious of what that feels like. Ask God to allow you to experience that feeling. Healthy, healed, and happy. And happy, not because something is happening, but just being happy because you are here. You're focused. You're conscious. You're awake. You're not surviving. You're conquering. You're not just a survivor. You're a conqueror. You've come over all those hills, all of those mountains, everything that tried to kill you. You're a conqueror. You're a warrior. But a warrior still has feelings. So let's go back to that. Take time to remove. Come on, let's get rid of some of this furniture. We're just not moving it. We're getting rid of it. We're not breaking it. We're destroying it. Destroying every yoke. Take a deep breath right there. Hold it. All right, let's return back. And we have arrived. Imagine having that feeling all through the day, that feeling of ease. That's why God says meditate day and night. You don't always have to be in this atmosphere to meditate. You can stick a pen right where we just went. And if you're at work or you're at home, children may be getting on your nerves, you just close your eyes and say, I'm conscious of who I be. Yes, so this is Michelle. I am your motivator. Motivating you today to be conscious. I want you to challenge you today to be conscious of what you're feeling. Meditate, deal with it, rearrange, throw out, discard, whatever it takes for you to be conscious of who you be. Remember, you've been created by the Creator to be creative. So start creating your creations and stop your duplications. May the love, joy, peace, power, and consciousness of God be your food for today. And remember, if you're conscious, you're never unconscious. So you're always awake and aware. Have a blessed day.